Hey guys, how's it going? It is time for a weekly reading. This week I will be using the Aboriginal Dreamtime cards. So my daughter bought these for me for Christmas and I really quite like them. Give everybody a good smudge. Put that over here so I don't smoke everybody out. And open my circle. And let's get to it. So the author of this book, or of this oracle, is Mel Brown. It's published by Rockpool Publishing. And so this is like an Australian, like it's an Aboriginal Dreamtime, but it's like, think of the Aboriginals of Australia, where these messages are coming from. So I will choose our 4 cards for this week. And then I'll link in the description too, if you kind of fall in love with these cards and you want your own copy, you can go to follow my Amazon affiliate link and pick up your own. And one more. My stomach is a little rumbly. It's a little bit mad at me. I had bought some cookies and I had cookies and milk. And yeah, my stomach doesn't do great with milk products. Okay, so the first card that we have this week, so our energy for the week, is Soulful Burdens. So, many thousands of years ago, the cockatoo did not have wings. He was so noisy. He would squawk and cry and carry on all day and all night. All the animals would ask him to be quiet, but no. He would just keep on going on and on and on. This was becoming distressing for the other animals as they couldn't sleep at night because of his noise and couldn't hunt during the day because he scared off all the animals. One of the animals came up with a plan. They all gathered around the noisy cockatoo and gave him a set of wings. Immediately he took off in flight, and as he took to the sky, the other animals sighed with relief. They realized that his insistent squawking was because he was bored and frustrated at never being able to see the world. From this point onwards, all the cockatoos got wings and lived their lives flying the skies and only squawking now and then in celebration of their freedom. So, what's the message then, right? It says, everything seems to be spiraling out of control. And the harder you try to take back some control, the worse things become, and the less control you have. The truth is, you are trying to control the wrong things. Take stock of the situation and choose your battles more carefully. You don't have to win them all. You just have to decide which battles are important enough to put your energy into. So, energy of the week. Pick your battles. Our next card, so what else do we need to know for this week, is Thirsty Earth. So it says, once there was a greedy frog. Isn't that interesting? We got like a cockatoo that's squawking all the time and bugging everybody. And now we have a greedy frog. Okay, once there was a greedy frog, and he liked to take things that other animals needed. One day he decided to collect all the water from the creek and store it in his giant mouth, leaving all the other animals with nothing to sustain themselves through the hot summer. As the animals and the land got thirstier through the heat of the hot, dry summer, they got together to beg him to release the water from his giant mouth. But they got no reply, as his mouth was so full that he couldn't talk. One day, as the animals were dehydrated and close to death, suddenly the frog started to shudder and then began to hiccup. With the next hiccup, he could no longer hold the water in his giant mouth anymore, and the water came rushing out, filling the creek and bringing life back into the bush again. The frog quietly hopped away and was never seen again. Okay, ready for the message? It says, life is very busy for you, and sometimes you can burn the candle at both ends for too long, so that it eventually burns to the center and causes you pain as the flames scorch your fingers. Common sense says to blow one end of the candle out to make it easier to manage, or better still, extinguish the candle altogether. Time to make some sensible decisions about your health, or you may quickly find yourself burnt out with very little energy to sustain the flame. Okay, so we got like two kind of similar messages, right? The Soulful Burdens is telling you to kind of pick your battles, and then this card is telling you not to burn the candle at both ends, right? You're spending too much energy on things that don't matter, right? So whether you're spending energy on things and procrastinating doing what you really need to do, that's like scenario number one. And scenario number two is you're trying to do all the things instead of delegating some of those tasks to other people, right? Or what's really important? Does that really need to get done right now? It may be a lesson in just better planning, right? You know, if you're always going to the grocery store every day to pick up food for the night, maybe, you know, you need to meal plan, or, you know, plan out your grocery trips or whatever it is, right? There's always lots of different things that we could do. What's kind of interesting is one thing that I chose to do today is my kids get on the bus, have them out the door by 7:30. So I told myself that I was not going to sit down and have my coffee until 8 o'clock. So for that 30 minutes, I, you know, straightened up the kitchen and whatever, made sure that everything got put away. You know, I emptied the dishwasher, loaded it back in, those sorts of things, right? But if I, you know, task myself and utilize some of that time. So normally I would probably sit down, open up my phone, waste, you know, those 30 minutes doing nothing really, except for maybe checking Facebook, right? But instead, deciding to be a little bit more productive. And since I'm up anyways, I might as well, you know, toss a load of laundry in the washing machine or whatever else, right? And really kind of kickstart the day. So, same for you guys. Pick your battles. Don't burn the candle at both ends. Because when you try to do it all, that's what happens, right? And you get so stressed out. And when you're so stressed out, if, you know, something comes along the way to like ruin your plans, then, you know, you're reacting instead of responding. Sometimes you have to be careful with the scheduling. So a couple years ago, I was Rory was still in play school, and the other two were at school and things like that. But my day, and I had the studio in town, so my days were basically scheduled almost to the minute where I needed to be. I started going to like a workout class and everything, and I just felt like, yes, everything was scheduled and organized in a sense, but I felt like I didn't have a chance to breathe or relax, or that there was no time in my schedule for me to recuperate or for something spontaneous to happen. I've talked about this before, but likely not in this group or on this platform, about making sure that you have space in your life for a crisis. It kind of seems weird. Oh, I remember where this all came from. I have a really good friend, and she makes really cute mugs, and it was like a customer request or something like that, and it said something about that there's no time in the schedule for a crisis this week today or this week or something like that. And it got me, and I know I didn't get the saying right, but that was the idea of it. And it made me so sad because we do that. We think that we have to be so busy all the time. I'm not sure if you can hear my cat scratching at the door, so I'm probably going to need to pause this and let him in so he doesn't wreck the door. But that's the thing, right? Of course, no one ever plans for a crisis or an emergency, a family emergency or anything like that. But you're going to be able to better respond to those things that get thrown at you if you have some space. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to pause super quick while I let the cat in and we see what our outcome is. All right. So our outcome card this week is ceremonial rites. So it says, the girl is born and nurtured by the women of the mob. She grows from a baby to a young girl and into a young woman. The mothers teach her of her responsibilities to contribute to the running of the clan. As she grows, she understands the importance of the wisdom passed down to her from the mothers and knows that to become a woman, she must first be initiated. When the right time comes, she is fussed over and dressed and led to the Bora ring to become initiated as a woman. During her ceremony, she gives up her rights as a child and completes her ceremony as a woman. She will continue to learn the dreaming and the dreamtime of the mob, but it is now her responsibility to pass on this wisdom and the stories to other young children of the mob. So, the Dreamtime message. It says, sometimes it's hard to find the patience to get to where you want to go or to get what you need. We often blame time as the enemy because it's taking too long. Yet time is the very reason we get to where we are going. Everything happens when the timing is just right, and to force it to become before then will often lead with undesired outcomes. Just wait a bit longer. You're almost there, but there's just a bit more information you need to complete the learning of the experience. All right. So it's kind of weird. Like, there's a lot of like time things in our reading this week, right? About responsibilities and things like that. And then we have this timing card telling us that we still need to be a bit patient. And so what I'm getting, so the messages that are coming in right now, what I'm getting is, so we're told to pick our battles, right? And we're told not to burn the candle at both ends because it's not quite time. So what does this mean? This means we need to manage our time so that we have that quiet time and we have that stillness so that we can work on ourselves, work on our journey, work on healing, our traumas and our wounding, so that when the time is right, we can go through these ceremonial rites and we can become, the leader that we're meant to be. Okay, so our action card then for this week is Mother Nature's balance, right? It's all about balance. And I really feel like last year my word for 2020 was karma. This year I really feel like the word is balance. My own personal word. I'm not sure, you guys probably have your own words that you've decided. Okay. In the bush, another summer comes, bringing with it oppressive heat and little rain, but the plants know that they just have to survive the heat for a few weeks longer until the rain arrives and replenishes their strength and gives them the vitality to survive another summer. But this year, when the rain comes, it doesn't stay for long, and there's not enough time to fully recover from the long, hot summer they had just endured. The summer comes again quickly and stays for longer, with even less rain than the year before. The ground is cracked and scorched, and many of the less resilient plants are dying. This cycle repeats itself for 7 summers, with each summer bringing less and less rain than the previous year. Eventually, the drought breaks and rain comes in abundance. The rain brings with it new plants that have never grown in the bush before, creating food for different types of animals that have not inhabited this bush for many years. Before long, the birth and the creation of different animals and plants make the bush a wonderland of the precious sounds of life. Okay, so what's our Dreamtime message? It says you need to find a balance between work and life. You've got yourself believing that neither can survive without you. You are wrong. It's you who feels you can't survive without them. Everyone will benefit if you step away and allow them to step up, because at that time you enable them to remain stuck because you won't let them have a go. They may not do it as well as you, but they won't mess up either. Right? Sometimes we need to delegate the tasks, and we need to give people those opportunities to step up. I can speak, towards my children, really. And one thing that we have done this year, we started last year, but one thing that we're really trying to do this year is chores, right? My kids are 9, 8, and 5. And they all have the same chores. Of course, the ability of the 5-year-old to do as good of a job is, a little lacking there. But what we do is then partner her up or have her siblings help her, or we will help her with some of those chores. But there's some things that she's very, very good at, and in some ways she's better at than the 9-year-old. So one thing that we're doing is every day after school, one kid has to wash the lunch kits, one kid has to unload and load the dishwasher, and the other kid needs to do the sweeping. And every day they rotate so that they don't get bored doing the job or the task. The 5-year-old, I have to say, is the best at washing the lunch kits out of all the kids. She does a really fantastic job. She has her little stool, and it's actually something that she enjoys. But it's the little things, right? And even just doing that, even if I have to help them, sweep or help them with their chores. Okay, cat. The cat just came in and is playing with everything, even if I have to help them with the chores, it's still showing them responsibility, right? And I'm showing them, the proper way to do it. I don't expect them to get it done the way that I would do it, but it's the effort that they put in, and eventually they'll get it, right? If I thought back to when I was 9 years old, and the household responsibilities that I had, just think about that. Think about that when it comes to balancing your household, especially if you have kids, right? Are you giving them those opportunities to prove themselves and to contribute, right? We're spending so much more time at home. And if we really want to bring balance to our lives, we need to educate our children. So that's just kind of my 2 cents there. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm going to be posting more like pick a number, like intuition workout videos as well. So if you make sure that you subscribe to the channel, then when the new videos come, you'll be notified, especially if you click the little bell, but that's totally up to you. So that's what I have. I think I'm at 68 subscribers. I'm still, kind of on the path to get to 100. So if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. Okay, take care. We'll talk soon.